What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And I want to speak on the recent sale. Jeannie Buss just sold controlling interest of the Lakers for $10 billion, right? And so, in my opinion, this is more bad news for LeBron James, right? And I've been speaking on this, for months now. Like, there's so much going on in the NBA, and none. It seems like none of it is really going LeBron James' way, right? So recently, you have like more players coming out and saying that Michael Jordan is a GOAT. That's not really, so public opinion is kind of swaying more towards Michael Jordan as far as being a GOAT in that debate. Then you have the guy Rick Bucher. He pointed to the fact that there are some allegations out there about LeBron James may have not been playing on an even field as far as like having like using like performance type substances that help this game and his longevity. It's just so much that's not working in LeBron James' favor. And I think the fact that the Lakers sold, Jeannie Buss sold this her team for $10 billion. I don't think that really works towards LeBron James' favor either. Because this new management group may not have, and probably won't have the same type of loyalty to LeBron James as Jeannie Buss did. Jeannie Buss really she liked LeBron James, and so there was a certain amount of loyalty there. LeBron James was able to get away with some things with Jeannie Buss that I'm thinking with this new ownership group, he probably won't be able to get away with this stuff. And I think this new ownership group, they want to get the Lakers, from what Magic Johnson said about this new ownership group, they really want to get this Lakers team turned around. They want to restore the Lakers image back to the glory days of the Lakers. And as long as LeBron James is in there, they haven't been that. And so this really not going to, in my opinion, bode well for the Lakers. Well, for LeBron James, because the LeBron James circus really haven't really benefited the Lakers. They did. I thought that under the circumstances, I think Jeannie Buss probably did the best she could do as far as like, all right, when LeBron James brought on his son, they marketed that as far as like, they had when he came there, they made like a big to do about it, the father son thing, they made a big to do about it, you know, and that was, they didn't really have any choice, you know. And then they brought on his friend, what was the guy named the coach, JJ Redick. But and they allowed LeBron James to make changes as far as like get players traded and move players and stuff like that. Which I think those kind of moves right there, to getting people out of their teammates and stuff like that. LeBron James wasn't the only one who did stuff like that. All a lot of great basketball players, want to be able to run or play general manager and stuff like that. You probably have one on almost every team in the NBA, a superstar who want to play, general manager and don't want somebody to make the team or want them to bring in their friend or something like that. So that's nothing new, right? But it was just a total circus surrounding LeBron James. And I think next season you know, you're in for even more of a circus because now you got Michael Jordan coming back to NBC, and basically he won't be directly. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Michael Jordan is going to be directly going at LeBron James, but a lot of things that Michael Jordan will probably say will be contradicting some of the things and some of the ways that LeBron James is feeling about basketball. And so that's not really going to make the Lakers look good. So if Michael Jordan is saying like, okay, the game needs to be played this way, or people need to look at the game this way, and LeBron James is saying, well, I think the game should be played this way, or for instance, ring culture. When you talk about LeBron James talking about ring culture and how he think that ring culture is bogus and stuff like that, right? Michael Jordan has always said, like rings meant everything to him. He wanted when he came in, he wanted to be able to catch Magic and Bird in rings. That's the only way Michael Jordan felt like he would be able to consider himself better than Magic and Bird is if he had more rings than them. And that's how it was, that's how it's always been. Like, the one with the most rings and the person who won the most, that's what mattered, winning the most and having the most rings. And so LeBron James has made lately, he's made a career out of like trying to change the narrative. And everything he do to try to change the narrative just seems like it blows up in his face, and like I said, with the down talking the ring culture and stuff like that, when he also said, like LeBron James said that when he first got with the Miami Heat, he said that, they was going to win not one, not two, not three, not four, but so he was at one point in time in his career, he made it, clear that he was chasing rings. As a matter of fact, I think the reason why he even left Cleveland in the first place is because Mike, he was chasing rings. He was 7 years into his career and didn't have a ring, and so he panicked. I thought it was a panic move for him to go to Miami and start chasing rings, but he knew he had to win. He had to start winning rings and he had to start winning soon, and so I thought that was a panic move. But then once he realized that he wasn't going to be able to catch Michael Jordan with the rings, then he wanted to change the narrative. And it's becoming so obvious that LeBron James wanted to change the narrative. That it's, I mean, it's just plain to see. Everybody can see that he needs to change the narrative in order for him to be the GOAT. And everything LeBron James is doing now is basically it's like he's in panic mode. You know, I've never seen LeBron James like do so many, like he's doing this podcast because he's trying to sway public opinion. But to me, that's an act of desperation. You know, he just has so many factors and so many different things working against him. He's really fighting an uphill battle, and I know people saying that like LeBron James fans are saying that, people are being, they just hating on LeBron James. But I don't think people are hating on LeBron James. I just think that people are just giving an honest assessment about, what basketball, like who's the GOAT, who's not the GOAT, what is great basketball, what's not great basketball, and so, and a lot of these LeBron James fans are people who probably, I'm thinking they're like young people. I don't really like people who didn't get to really see a lot of Kobe, people who didn't get to see any of Michael Jordan, like those young fans, like people who just came along like during the LeBron James era. And so you can kind of got to give those people a pass. But people who played with Michael Jordan, people who played with Kobe Bryant, and people who had the opportunity to watch basketball for like go back like 30 and 40 years and stuff like that, they know, most of those people will tell you, that LeBron James is not the GOAT. And it's just like LeBron James is fighting an uphill battle. He's in a desperate situation where he needs to really um sway people's public opinion. And the reason why it's a desperate attempt is because, like if it wasn't, then if LeBron didn't care what people thought about basketball, then he wouldn't, number one, have this podcast. But there's a lot at stake for LeBron James. Like his legacy is at stake. You know, his beyond basketball, his legacy is at stake. When it comes to, you know, like business and stuff like that. Like this is really big business for LeBron James. Like he'll lose a lot of money if he lose this argument. And people were like, "Well, how are you going to lose money?" You know, it's just an opinion. It goes even deeper than that. It goes deeper than just like LeBron James fans versus Michael Jordan fans. Like who the GOAT? We're talking about money. We're talking about sponsorships. We're talking about business deals and stuff like that. That's what that's all about. It all boils down to the money. It's not just like, you know, Michael Jordan fans versus LeBron James fans. This is about, you know, you talking about millions, maybe even billions of dollars at stake with this GOAT debate. And LeBron James realized that. And that's why LeBron James is just, you know, he seems like he's desperate and grasping for straws. And a lot of people don't know that, you know, it comes down to money. But it'll be, you know, it'll become apparent. And for a lot of people, unless it's like right in your face, people don't realize like how big this GOAT argument and debate and how deep this stuff go. But it boils down to money and legacy, a lot of money on the line with who wins this GOAT debate. And so, like I said, Jeannie Buss selling the team, handing it over to a new ownership group does not really it don't really work out for LeBron James. That's just another um you know, that's just another roadblock for LeBron James. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, don't forget to leave a comment and I'll check you all out in the next episode. Peace.